Ok, e vamos de Celestância. Partiu. Vamos continuar nosso treino. Bom, eu vou pegar o tempo. Pega o tempo inicial? Não, não vou pegar o tempo inicial ainda. Vou deixar pegar o tempo quando eu já souber a run. Daí eu faço uma run completa. Quando eu começar a fazer as runs, né? Mas enfim. Vambora. Nossa, minha cadeira cedendo, cara. Ok. Vamos partir. Primeiro vamos excluir isso aqui. Vamos ver se eu lembro mais ou menos como é que chega até aqui, né? Vambora. Ok, tranquilo. Esse início é bem tranquilinho, é bem de boinha. Tem muito esquema. Primeira fase, que eu tenho umas dois pontos de dificuldade, basicamente. Vamos nessa. Ok. Nossa. Na verdade, aqui eu não preciso ir por cima, né, cara? Eu posso fazer isso. Meu Deus. Aqui é um lugar que eu não preciso ir por cima se eu quiser. Eu tenho que acertar isso aqui, né? Pelo amor. Errei. Eita, nossa, é porque eu pulei, né? Nossa, eu me toquei. Ok. Obviamente não foi, não foi dos mais rápidos, mas... ok. Nada demais. É um que, tipo, eu morro em alguns lugares específicos. Normalmente, né? Mas tô de boa. Aqui também tem lugares específicos que eu morro. Não tem muitos lugares pra... Ok. Nossa, achei que ia dar. Esse aqui é um dos mais precisos que eu tenho que fazer. Mas esse skip aqui tá bem de boa já. Errei. Errei de novo. Meu Deus. Obrigado. Nossa, morri. Ué? Tô fazendo muito lento. Ah, nossa, ok. Caralho, por que eu tô morrendo aqui, velho? Ah, nossa, muito mais fácil. Muito mais fácil, meu Deus, cara, por que eu nunca fiz isso? Bom, mano, minha cadeira cedendo, velho. Tá que pariu. Só distrai, só isso. Ok. É o tempo horrendo, mas aqui por enquanto eu não tô pra fazer rápido. Quero ver se eu lembro de todas as estratégias. Nossa, ok. Nossa, aham. Meu Deus. Tô morrendo nos lugares mais idiota possível, cara. Liz. Meu Deus. Ai, ai. Eu lembro que no início era uma desgraça isso aqui, velho. Ah, droga. Esqueci que é... Ai, droga. É, esse aqui é bem difícil de... Muito... Ô, merda. Eita. Eu nunca sei um jeito fixo e fácil de... Nossa, ele não pegou cristal. Quer dizer, eu não peguei cristal, né? Que? Nice. Demo dash. Nice. Nossa, nunca me toquei. Não. Droga, soltei o... É pra frente, não é... Ô, merda. Tô descobrindo umas coisas que eu nem sabia que eram possíveis. Descobrindo umas coisas que eu nem sabia que eram possíveis. Ah, nossa. Meu Deus, cara. The Cycle, eu já tô acostumado. Ok, vou botar minha cadeira. Acidente. Também não foi dos melhores, mas eu já sei como fazer tudo, né? Eu já sei como fazer, quer dizer, né? Eu tive que lembrar no meio do caminho, mas eu já estudei todos eles, né? Eu sei mais ou menos como que faz tudo. Agora o mais difícil de todos, por enquanto. Oh, merda. Nossa, o que eu tô fazendo, velho? Ah, é verdade. Aqui dá pra fazer, né? É verdade. Ali de cima é mais fácil de fazer. Caralho. Não chegou o quê? Ah, ali pior que eu lembrei, mas... É verdade. Eu não sei se é melhor eu tentar fazer o timing. É melhor eu fazer o timing, é. Ok. Ô, droga. Ah, esse aqui, né? Esse aqui que é o skip novo. É, esse aqui é mais difícil. Ah, tá. Eu tenho que pegar do outro lado. Eu tenho que... É mó mão esse aqui. Esse skip, se eu quiser fazer mesmo. Eu tenho que fazer aqui, vir aqui. Vir aqui. É mó difícil fazer isso aqui, velho. É porque eu tenho que fazer um salto ali, tá ligado? Isso que torna o bagulho difícil. Isso que eu não... É muito inconsistente, nem vou tentar, porque é muito difícil, é muito difícil. Não que esse aqui também seja fácil, mas esse aqui é mais de boinha ainda. Ah, errei. Nossa, eu consegui. No meio do caminho eu lembrei. Nossa. Aham. Ué. Ah, tá. Ok. Ok. Não, pra cima. Droga. Quase. Droga. Droga. Isso aqui é muito difícil, velho. Esse aqui é difícil. Ah, deu bom. Nice. Droga. Ah, nossa, eu esqueci. Eu esqueci completamente da bola de neve. Não, esqueci disso. Ah, esperei demais. Ô, droga. Ah, droga. Não diga mais aí. Meu Deus, cara. Bem. Cara, foi horrível isso. Isso foi horrível, mano. Meu Deus. Mas tudo bem, tudo bem. Que bom que é só treino isso aqui, que é só treino. Eu morri menos do que eu achei que eu tinha morrido. Nossa, esse aqui eu vou morrer pra caralho, tô vendo. Ah, mas apesar que esse aqui é mais curto, né? Então, esse capítulo é mais curto. Um pouquinho mais de boa. Ok. Ai, errei isso. Que? Meu Deus. Meu time hoje tá horrível, né, cara? O time tá muito horrível. Olha isso, cara. Ai. Meu Deus, cara. Caralho, mano. Obrigado. Skills mais legais da... Se eu conseguir fazer, né? Meu Deus, cara. Agora eu vou fazer, já que eu tô jogando mal pra caralho. Deixa eu pelo menos fazer as técnicas. Sério? Como é que não foi? Ok. Esqueci de apertar o botão. Segurando o botão de pular. Ai, então foi. Por que não tá indo, cara? Eu não tô indo tão rápido, né? Mas como eu toquei. Quase. Não, na diagonal. Caralho. Será que é o boost aí, o salto? Talvez. Quase. Eu sinto que tá muito, tipo, tá por muito pouco. Segurando o botão de pular, não. Tá, agora eu não segurei, mas... meu Deus. Meu Deus. Dedo gordo. Mas eu não tô conseguindo. Vou apertar um pouquinho antes, que eu acho que tô demorando demais. Aí, eu acho que tava demorando demais pra... confundi a sala. Serve? Essa sala aqui. Aí. Tinha que ser um pouquinho mais rápido lá. Ok. Oh. Aí, tá. Não, esse aqui é o segundo. Que porra de sala foi essa? Meu Deus, calma. Eita. Então lembrar de tudo, é muita coisa pra lembrar, velho. Ô merda. Ah, não pulou, droga. Não pulou de novo. Como é que é? Mano, como é que... meu Deus. Caralho. Como é que... Ah não, tá, lembrei, tá, ok. Nossa, demorei pra entender lembrar qual que era essa... É, o ideal seria... O ideal seria eu... É, aí não. Caralho. Oh, meu Deus. Mano, não lembro qual que é a estratégia desse aqui, velho. Ah, tipo, esse aqui é uma opção. Ah, é verdade, eu não preciso jogar o hotel, posso eu ir lá. Ah, pode ser isso. Acho que essa aqui é a melhor estratégia, eu acho. Aqui, aqui. Que? Que? What the fuck? Nossa, mano, eu não consigo lembrar das estratégias desse aqui, velho. Ou só não tô conseguindo fazer. Ah, esse aqui eu jogo, pulo. Não é isso. Eu... Não, é o dash pra frente aqui, isso eu lembro. Era isso, só que por que eu não tava indo antes? Nossa, meu Deus, cara. Como é que era isso aqui? Era... Não, acho que o mais fácil era... Era isso aqui, né? Ah, não. Esse aqui... Esse aqui, o melhor jeito de fazer é... Oh, meu Deus. Isso. Aqui. Não. Deixa eu tentar fazer a estratégia normal. Eu esqueci. Esqueci completamente. Ok. Nossa, foi horrível isso. 50 minutos pra chegar até aqui. Nossa, joguei muito mal. Eu esqueci as estratégias, tudo. Ah, bom, acontece. Eu vou treinar depois individualmente, né? Cada nível, porque eu realmente quero pegar, tipo, o primeiro ciclo de todos. Ou tentar, pelo menos, pegar de preferência o primeiro ciclo de todos. E aí, se não der, aí, claro, partir pros outros. Vamos lá. Reflection Part 1.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the
É isso aí, reflexão.
Celeste Any percent tutorial. And today I'm going to be going over reflection.
Vambora.
So reflection introduces a new mechanic, the feathers, and this mechanic is actually the only mechanic that changes depending on whether or not you play keyboard or controller, because really the only disadvantage keyboard has over controller is that you don't have an analog stick. So with the controller, you can move the feathers in any degree that you want, allowing you to get some angles that you can't get with keyboard. However, it's actually a much smaller difference than you think, and you can do just about anything with keyboard as you can with the controller. It's just a few of the angles are going to be a little more tight because you don't have as much freedom. So if you're used to controller, that's good. If you're used to keyboard, you don't really need to change the controller unless you find it really difficult to do the feather strats. But on the contrary, having keyboard makes it so that you can get like perfect 45-degree angles with the feathers, and there are some situations where you may find that advantageous. But one of the key things to note about feathers is that the more you rotate with the feather, the slower the feather goes. So you're going to want to try to guide the feather in a way that keeps it in as straight of a line as possible. And like with keyboard, something that you can do to get some angles you normally wouldn't be able to get is to kind of wiggle between two angles. So like if I grab this feather, if you kind of tap one key while holding another one, you can kind of wiggle between two different angles to go in some slightly less common directions. And that won't slow you down since you're not rotating much. But you don't necessarily need to do that anywhere, but you can if you want. But back to reflections. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is dash up through this feather. Okay. So you're going to want to do an extended dash jump to get under it, because an extended hyper won't get you under this or over this block. You can extended hyper and then corner boost off here, but it's really hard and it's definitely not worth it. So just extended dash jump and then dash up. And then you need to grab the next few feathers that you encounter. So you just kind of have to memorize where the feathers are. And when you grab this feather right here, you need to maneuver through here while preserving as much as your speed as possible. So you need to try and get through this section while doing the least turning possible. And with controller, you can kind of just gradually rotate your way around here in like small increments. With keyboard, what I suggest doing is trying to go from straight up when you grab the feather, and then do a 90-degree turn, and then try and go at a straight line through this part, so that you don't have to rotate downward at all. And if you get the line perfect, you'll be able to retain as much feather speed as you can. So. And if you get through that part with enough speed, you'll be able to skip the feather down to the left and just go straight for this feather. And if you're not confident that you're gonna make it, in fact, I'll retry here. So you're gonna have to practice. This is the hardest part right here because you have to do it without bumping into the walls. If you're not confident that you're going to make it to that feather, what you can do is you can dash up out of this feather, wall boost off this right wall, and then when you bonk into the bubble, it'll give you your dash back so you can dash through the feather. And I'm kind of messing it up because the wall boost will hit, you should try to aim for the bottom of the bubble when you wall boost so that you can dash up.
Mas parece mais difícil fazer isso, tá ligado?
So I was struggling a little bit to dash through it, but if you wall boost and get the right angle off the wall boost, you can dash up through
Tá.
the feather
Inclusive,
after
deixa eu aumentar aqui a velocidade.
bouncing off the bubble. But you want to take this feather up, and then if you get enough height and enough speed from that feather, you can then dash up into this feather.
Ok.
If you just barely make it into the feather before this one, like if you just barely get enough height to go through it, you might not be able to get straight to this feather, in which case you're going to land on the ground directly below me and then dash up into this feather.
De boa.
So you want to grab this feather right here, so pretty much just go straight up, like dashing up right through the bubble will move you far enough to the right to just go straight up through this feather, and then you just want to weave your way around through these walls and collect a few feathers on the way. So you can go right or left around this one. I find it a little easier to go right because you're already kind of heading in that direction. Or you can also go left. If you go left, you don't even need to grab this feather right here. But if you go right, you should. And you definitely want to grab this feather and then go left around this wall. And if you're playing on keyboard, you can pretty much just hold the up key the whole time and then press left and right when you need to. When you reach a certain height from here, you can actually dash up out of the feather to get into the cutscene. But if you dash too early, you might not make it quite high enough, and you'll end up retrying when you try to skip the cutscene. So if you want to play it safe, you can just take the feather all the way into the cutscene, and you'll know exactly when the cutscene starts when you exit the feather. But pretty much the timing for the dash is just after the ground disappears below the screen. So you skip the cutscene here.
Tá, ok. Parece ser tranquilo. Vambora. Vamos fazer essa primeira parte, primeira tela. Tem cutscene aqui? Tem. Ok, assim. Tá. É um pouquinho mais difícil do que eu achei que seria. Ok, tá, não, mas é de boa. É basicamente quando eu pegar ela eu já viro. Acho que é mais... Deixa eu ver. Deixa eu ver se é isso aí mesmo. Ah, é isso, é isso. Quando eu pego eu já viro. Nem preciso... Então é bem de boinha. Opa, fiz muito cedo. Não, é um pouquinho de delay. Ah, quase. Aqui. Tá. Ok. Ah, é de boa até. Aqui já decorei. Ok. Eu quero tentar ir direto, cara. Uma vez, pelo menos, só pra eu entender. Eu tenho que fazer, acho que esse corner perfeito pra poder... Quase. Nossa, agora foi. Nice. Tá, ok. Cara, não foi. Bom, então não vou. Então não vou me precipitar. Ok. Nice. Nice. Ok. Não, eu vou fazer assim, Ó, primeiro, tranquilo. Vamos
And
seguir.
then right here is a very difficult skip known as lake skip, which
Lake
essentially
skip.
involves, first of all, you want to dash over here
Okay.
before the screen wipe ends, because you don't really need to know where you are just yet. But after the screen wipe ends, what you actually need to do lake skip. And lake skip will skip having to go all the way to the right of this room and use the Kevin to take the way out. But you can just ignore the Kevin and exit the room on the left side. And the way you do it is essentially you need to wall boost off of this corner right here. So this corner right here, there's actually a few pixels at the very bottom of the corner that the spike hitbox doesn't overlap. And you need to wall boost off that corner and then grab the wall above the spikes. And you want to dash straight up, and you want to buffer the wall boost so that you do it on the first possible frame. And also, you don't want to wall boost to the right. You want to wall boost just holding up, and you want to then immediately move left to get to the wall. Because if you wall boost to the right, you'll go too far to the right, and you'll miss the wall. And after you dash, you can even just hold left. Just preemptively start moving right after the wall boost. Because holding towards the wall when you wall boost doesn't change the angle that you wall boost at. It's only holding away. So you need to wall boost off this corner. You also need to be a few pixels away from the wall, actually, because if you're too close to the wall, when you hit the corner, it'll nudge you to the right and it'll nudge you into the spikes. So with wall boost, you can actually be a few pixels away from the wall and it'll still register the wall boost. And you need to be a few pixels off in order to do this wall boost. So I'm probably not gonna get the wall boost when I unpause because it's paused, but I actually got the wall boost, but I didn't get enough height. So you saw I wall boosted off that corner without dying. And you need to practice getting the correct position. So you can wall jump off this wall and do lake skip like that. And you'll notice if I'm too far to the left, the wall boost sends me into the spikes. And if you're too low, you won't get the wall boost. So there's kind of it's a very strict positioning, but most.
Ok.
Mostly comes down to muscle memory.
Tá, ok. Não parece ser muito fácil, cara. De onde que ele salta?
So there's kind of it's a very strict.
Ok. Acho que vou botar mais pra esquerda, acho. Mais pra direita, no caso. Ah, é isso, ok. É bem difícil. É isso aqui. Isso é difícil. Eu consigo fazer sem. Não. Sem botar agora pra esquerda. Oh, merda. Esqueci de pular, burrão. É bem difícilzinho esse all-boost aqui. É, eu botei pra esquerda. Segurando pra... Aliás, eu botei pra direita, né? Quero fazer segurando pra esquerda já. Eu não sei se funciona. Eu acho que se eu segurando pra esquerda, ele não... Ela morre, eu acho. Eu acho que não tem como fazer segurando pra esquerda. Caralho, mas nem segurando pra direita eu tô conseguindo. Acho que eu tô indo muito... Tem que ir mais pra direita. É isso aí, tá. Nossa, é bem pra direita. Quase como se eu não fosse encostar. Tá, ok, beleza. Vou testar agora com... Quase como se eu não fosse encostar no bagulho. Eu sinto que eu não tô fazendo o suficiente totalmente porque... Não. Isso, ok. Tá, tem como, eu acho. Não presta atenção, mas eu acho que tem como. Tá, aham, tem como, tem como. É difícil pra caralho, mas tem como. Ok, tem que ser um pouquinho mais. Tem que ser literalmente no limite do all boost. Tipo, aqui foi quase. Muito difícil saber qual que é o pixel. Deixa eu salvar. Pra eu saber onde que eu... Tá. É que eu acho que eu não posso apertar em nada, se pá. Eu acho que é mais fácil. Não, tô indo muito embaixo. Não sei exatamente por que não foi. Acho que eu não tive altura, se pá. Agora eu não sei por que não foi. Por que não tá indo agora, velho? A animação dela, talvez. Acho que eu tenho que encostar no bagulho em verde, se não me engano. Ah, é tipo isso. Mas não tá indo igual. Caralho, eu tava muito longe. Porra. Será que eu não posso ficar segurando? Pode ser? Não tinha pensado nisso. Não. Acho que não é isso. Acho que não é isso. Não acho que seja isso. Cara, não tô mais conseguindo, mano. Eu não sei por que eu tô morrendo. Ah, acho que é porque... Então, será que eu tenho que... Eu tenho que segurar o... Não, porque o Albush não precisa segurar. O Albush não precisa segurar. Não sei por que não... Não sei porque não tá indo. Tem algumas vezes que eu não sei por que não vai. Mas tem que ser mais na ponta ainda, cara. Olha, nossa, eu tô muito na pontinha, cara. Deixa eu rever o meu próprio clipe. Que eu consigo uma vez. Consigo duas vezes, na verdade. Duas vezes seguidas, eu acho, inclusive. Deixa eu rever o clipe pra ver se tem alguma coisa diferente que eu fiz. Caralho. Limite do August. Muito difícil saber qual que é o pixel. Deixa eu salvar. Limite do... Tá. Tá. Tá, metade do corpo dela tava... Não. Tá, tem como, eu acho. Não presta atenção, mas eu acho que tem como. Tá, esse aqui. Ó. O olho dela tá nesse pixel. Eu fiz um full salto. Caralho. Eu usei... Ok, exatamente no meio. Tá.
Positioning, but it mostly comes down to muscle memory, getting consistently. And sometimes you can even grab the wall, but that doesn't really do anything. So another way you can get into position for the wall boost, and this is slightly harder for most people, but you can actually wall boost out of the water like this, and if you get enough height from it, you can do the wall boost right after that.
Okay. É que eu acho que... É um bagulho, tipo... É muito... É pixel perfect, basicamente, né? Eu sinto que... Nossa, pior que eu sinto que, assim, é mais fácil de preparar, tá ligado? Não sei. Tanto que eu consegui uma vez, né? É difícil mesmo. Não é fácil, não. Eu não sei se eu posso tá muito alto. Não sei se eu posso estar muito alto pra fazer o wall boost. Tá ligado? Eu acho que sim. Eu acho que tem... Por isso que aqui sou um pouquinho melhor. Porque eu acho que dá a altura correta pra fazer. Que é um skip difícil de fazer, hein? Porra! Esse aqui eu acho que é o mais difícil. Não, não é o mais difícil, mas é o que é pedido, o que é, né, recomendado, talvez, que é o mais difícil. Pô, esse aqui é muito difícil, cara. Puta merda. Se tem alguma dica pra...
And I find that this is actually more consistent when it gets to getting the horizontal position that you need. Like the wall boost, if you wall boost to the right out of the water, you'll almost always be lined up to do the second wall boost. But the hard part is getting enough height out of this wall boost in order to get the second wall boost. And if you go too far to the right, you'll miss it as well. So there are multiple ways to do lake skip. Overall, it's still a very difficult strat, but you can get it consistently if you get the correct positioning. And you can see just how tight it is. If you have trouble doing lake skip and This is another skip similar to Demo Dash, where this platform you're playing on might affect how easy it is or hard it is to do, because in a certain patch, not sure exactly which one, but in a certain patch, they added a few pixels to the distance that you can be from a wall to wall boost. It used to be only like 1 or 2 pixels, but now it's like closer to 4, I think. And that makes wall boost a lot easier to do. Like on the consoles that don't have that update, it's a pixel perfect wall boost, which makes it extremely hard, and it might not be worth going for. So if you're on one of those consoles, you might just want to ignore leg skip for now. But if you get leg skip on your first try, it saves about 7 seconds. And I think it saves about like 2 seconds if you get it on your second try, but you need to get it within your first 2 tries to save time. So if you don't want to do leg skip, you'll spawn right here, and you basically just want to do a whole bunch of dashes to get to the Kevin as fast as possible. And you're going to just want to practice like what angles you want to dash at to do the fewest dashes possible. And then you want to climb onto the Kevin. You can pretty much just stand on the left side of the Kevin and just hold duck so that you can time the down dash into the Kevin. And you don't need to jump to dash down to the Kevin either. So, but you want to activate the Kevin to make it go up at the soonest possible moment. Like, this is about a good timing right here. You could even do it slightly sooner, but you don't need to take the Kevin out of the room, because if the Kevin bumps into this block above me, you can still get enough momentum from the Kevin to just dash out of the room. So you can dash out of the room like that. If you do leg skip, you just want to jump up the left wall, and you'll end up right here, in which case you can hyper bunny hop and then dash up right through the feather. If you end up right here, you can wave dash and then dash up right through the feather, like that. So if you enter on the right side, you can do that. If you enter on the left side, you can do that.
Entendi, tá. Então é só difícil mesmo e valeu. É só difícil mesmo e valeu. É muito difícil fazer isso aqui, velho. Caralho. Por que não... É, eu vou assim mesmo.
If you enter on the right side, you could also like land and then do a dash, extended dash jump and dash upright, like that. And if you do the extended dash jump and then dash upright, it actually gives you pretty much exact amount of distance you need just to go straight up with a feather. And then you only need to weave your way around these spikes a little. If you do the way dash into upright, you'll need to move around a little more. But when you get to this height, or as soon as possible, you want to dash left to land on this platform. And then you can either like extend a dash jump, dash upright to go for the left wall. You can extend a hyper and then dash up to the left wall. You can extend a hyper and then wall boost off the left wall. I find the safest, consistent method is to extend a dash jump and then wall boost off the left wall, and it's not too difficult. And even if you miss the wall boost, like if you overshoot the wall, you'll still have enough time to move towards the left wall and then jump up. But if you undershoot that wall boost, you'll bonk your head and die. So like if you have trouble getting that wall boost consistently, you might just want to aim to overshoot it and just hope that you get it. But when you enter this room, you want to do just dash up into this feather. And then you want to maneuver around here. You can just move with keyboard, you can just move at diagonal angles. You don't really need to be moving up at all, so you can just hold up and then go at diagonals. But you want to dash upright into this Kevin and then get on top of it as fast as possible, because you need to make it go up almost immediately after it starts moving. And I actually didn't get up fast enough because I was paused. And then you need to make it go up through that gap, and then you want to extend it hyper off of it so that you can then dash up to here. And if you dash a little too early or a little too late into the top of the Kevin, it might bonk into one of the blocks above it. And if that happens, you can jump off the Kevin, and you'll have enough momentum to dash up right to this wall and then jump up. So that's a little bit of a backup that you can do. And when you dash up right into the right side of the Kevin, if you hit the very top of that side, you'll get sent right to the top of the Kevin. But if you're a little too low, you might have to jump up the Kevin. You need to hyper off of this side right here. Oh, and by the way, those blocks are called Kevins if you haven't already heard, so I'm going to be referring to them as Kevins from here on. You want to hyper out of this room, and then bunny hop at the start of the next room, and then you want to dash forward through the feather in the next room. And you just...
Tá. Aí é pra baixo, não é pra cima. Okay. Yeah. Quê? Por que ele não fez o dash pra baixo? De novo, não fez o dash pra baixo, por quê? Okay.
Want to maneuver around here. When you get to this point right here, you're going to want to try and just start moving straight to the right. So you want to be just moving directly right from here, maybe go down a little so you don't bump into that blue wall at the end. But what you want to do at the end of the room is either dash jump or corner boost out of the room. So the way you do that is you want to be holding grab before you dash, and then you want to dash right into basically that 2-block platform near the end. And if you're a little too high, you'll corner boost off of the raised part. If you're a little just want a little bit off, I try to dash jump, but so yeah, just hold grab just in case you end up having to corner boost. Because if you don't hold grab and you try to dash jump, you might end up wall jumping, and wall jumping will make you hit these spikes right here. So you don't want to do that. You want to try to dash jump, and if you don't dash jump, you'll corner boost as long as you're holding grab. With the dash jump momentum, you can dash up right into this feather, and then if you maneuver around here perfectly, you can actually get to this second feather without exiting the first feather. But it's especially hard with keyboard because you don't have quite as much control over it. But you'll notice I just barely got out of the feather before I got into the next one. But if you practice moving with this feather, you can get straight into the second one. But you'll have to cut some corners to do that. So if you want to be a little safer, you can just kind of go through the middle of all these corridors, and then you can dash right into this feather, and that's not too much slower. But you want to dash upright out of the room so that you enter this room on the left side. And the height you get from the transition is just enough to dash forward, and dashing forward will cause you to break that block next to the Kevin, and you'll also slide along the ground, which gives you your dash back. So you can just do 2 very quick dashes to the left in order to break the block and then activate the Kevin. Like that. And if you're not far enough to the left, you'll notice you might end up... oh, that doesn't bring the block back. But so I'll start right here, and then I'll dash into the room again, and you'll see the transition gives you the exact height you need to do 2 dashes to the left. And then you can either, after activating the Kevin, you can either jump to avoid it, or I dash upright to avoid it. And then you want to land on it, and then the moment it moves all the way to the right and hits the wall, you want to dash down into it. And then as it's moving up, you want to move a little further to the left. You don't want to move all the way to the left of the Kevin, but you want to move about 1 block space away from the left edge of the Kevin. So, like about right here, because you need to jump out of the Kevin when it hits the top, and then you want to do a wall boost off a wall on the left. And if you're too far to the left, you'll get crushed against the block on the ceiling, so you need to be about right here. And then you want to wall boost off that left wall after you get the momentum boost, and you want to try and get as much height from this wall boost as possible. Because if you get enough height, you'll notice I'm all the way up here, and I can start jumping up this wall. But if you don't get enough height from the wall boost, you'll hit this corner right here.
Okay. Nossa. Nossa, meu Deus, hoje eu não tô bem, cara. Ô, merda. Caralho. Caralho.
In which case you'll have to neutral jump and then start climbing. Or you can drop down from here and then wall boost off of here. But you want to enter the room on the right side, so if you end up hitting this corner, I suggest neutral jumping and then jumping up. But you want to dash forward onto this platform, and then you can wave dash off to this next one. And then dash up right to here, and then coming up is another neutral jump strat, where what you should do first is you should jump up and then wall boost off this corner right here. And you want to wall boost up and immediately start moving to the right to get back to the wall as fast as possible. And then you want to do all 4 of your climb jumps and then start neutral jumping up the rest of the way. And you want to try and get as much height out of these climbing jumps as possible in order to not have to do too many neutral jumps. Like if you get maximum height out of the wall boosts and the climbing jumps, you should only have to do 2 neutral jumps to get to the top. So, or you can even do it with 1 neutral jump, but you shouldn't have to do it with any more than 2. If you're doing it with 3, that means you're not getting enough height out of the wall boost and climbs. From here though, you just want to jump and then wave dash into the next room. And then the strat for this room is a bit difficult because you need to basically get the falling block in the middle of this room to fall before the Kevin reaches it. So you want to activate the Kevin on like the top of the right wall, and then you want to just hop up onto the very right edge of the Kevin and be ready to hyper off of it. And you want to be ducking so you don't hit those spikes right there. And you'll notice I messed up. And if you jump off of that wall too soon, the wall actually won't fall. So you need to make sure you need to grab it for at least a very brief moment. And if you do that quickly enough, that block will fall before the Kevin reaches it, and then the Kevin will go right through, like that. And sometimes the Kevin will even sort of nudge against the block, but as long as you get the block to fall soon enough, you can just take the Kevin straight through. And if the Kevin does still hit the block should still fall far enough that you don't get crushed, but the Kevin will start moving back, and so you'll have to climb to the top of the Kevin and activate it again. And getting the block to fall too late is not nearly as bad as jumping off the block too soon and not getting it to fall, because if that happens, you're going to get crushed by the Kevin and die. So if you have...
Relação, verdade. Qual que?
Have trouble getting the block to fall consistent, not fall before the Kevin reaches it, and then the Kevin will go right through like that.
Ah, tá, ok. É bem logo em seguida mesmo. Caralho.
And sometimes like if you get it, and if that happens, you can just do that. When the Kevin starts, it's harder to do. And if that happens, you can just do that. When the Kevin starts moving from here, there's a certain point, I'm not exactly sure what the point is, where you can hyper off the Kevin and then bunny hop out of the room. I don't know exactly what the timing is, so you're gonna have to practice it. But what I do is I just wait for the Kevin to go all the way, and then I do a very quick dash jump off the right edge of the Kevin. And the momentum from the dash jump plus the speed boost I get from the Kevin is enough to get me out of the room. Like that. And then you can just kind of fall and then dash forward through this feather. And you want to hit this next Kevin on the left side, and then try to get to the very top of the Kevin, and stand on the Kevin to get your dash back, and then immediately get back onto the side of it. So you want to climb up, get your dash back, and then step off. And that lets you do a wall boost off the Kevin at the very end to get enough distance to land right here.
Ok. É fácil, é fácil. Ah tá, só que eu tenho que ficar na parte bem no meio, ok. Okay.
Otherwise, you'll land down here if you don't wall boost, and you'll have to dash up. So you want to climb to the top of the Kevin to get your dash back so you can wall boost. From here, though, you can hyper, and then you want to wave dash at the very start of the next room. And you'll notice I got cornered there, because if you slide off a corner and then jump, sometimes you'll lose your momentum because it registers as a wall jump instead of a wave dash. So that can happen just about anywhere. So you'll need to just try to avoid it if you can. But if you do the wave dash, you can dash up right to here. And you'll notice this is actually a sort of fork in the route in Reflection, because Reflection has a lot of branching paths in it, which you can choose from. But there is an optimal option for most rooms. There's only really one spot where some runners may choose to deviate. But in this case, you definitely want to go up. So when you land here, you'll get your dash back, you can dash up. And then you want to land right here so you can then jump and then wave dash out of the room. Or you can either jump and wave dash off here, you can buffer a hyper from the transition here, or you can walk into the room and then extend a hyper from here. And doing any of these methods will let you hyper and then dash over this. But if you wave dash into the room, you can bunny hop to give yourself a little more height to more easily make it over that spike. And from here, if you maneuver around here well enough, you can move straight to the feather. So you want to wait till you clear this spike wall here and then immediately start moving forward to the feather. Or if you find that a little unsafe, you can just fall and then wall jump off the left wall to the feather. And then you just want to maneuver the feather around here. And then you want to try to wave dash off the left side of this block. And the moment you enter the next room, you need to wave dash as soon as possible to get your dash back. So if you wave dash soon enough, like the moment you enter the room, you'll have your dash back and you can dash and then climb up here. If you lose your dash though, and you don't get it back from the wave dash, you'll land down here or somewhere around here, in which case you'll want to just kind of dash back up here. And from here, it's a hyper into the room followed by bunny hop. From here, you can extend a hyper ultra to hit the top of that second bumper towards the right edge of the screen. And that gives you a lot of speed, and the bumper will send you back up. But it's kind of inconsistent because you need to do a really quick ultra. So if you don't want to go for the ultra, you can just extend it hyper and then dash up right and then climb up here. And from here, you just want to jump and then dash down right. If you brush along here at like the rightmost edge of it, you'll get your dash back to wave dash out of the room. Otherwise, you'll just get your dash back when you hit the bottom of the room. So, but you want to buffer. You can either hyper into the room and then bunny hop off of here, or again, you can buffer a hyper from the transition and then dash forward to here. From here, you can dash forward, and then if you time it right, you can dash down right, and then land right on this platform right here. If you're a little too early, you'll land down here, and if you're a little too late, you'll bump against that wall. But even if you do brush against this corner a little, you can still make it to this platform. So it's pretty lenient as long as you're not too early. And when you land here, you just want to jump, dash up, and land right here. And you want to take this top path. So there's two strats for the next room. One that uses the Kevin and one that doesn't. And I'll show you the Kevin one first, because I think...
Tá. É meio difícil de controlar o bagulhinho, mas enfim. Caralho, eu tenho que me acostumar com os controles desse bagulho, mano. Ah, se for isso é fácil, tá ligado? Se for isso é muito fácil, nossa.
I think it's a little easier. So you want to hyper into the room and then activate the Kevin, and then you want to extend it hyper off the Kevin the moment it hits the end. And that'll give you a massive speed boost so you can then dash up right to the end of the room. But you don't want to dash too early or else the loss of momentum from the dash will not get you to the end. And sometimes it'll hit the bumper as well, in which case you just want to use it. But you don't need the bumper, you can just dash up right to the end of the room. I don't know why I'm constantly hitting the bumper though. And if you don't get your dash back, the bumper will pretty much always save you. So if you time the dash right, you can just go over the bumper and then dash up right to here. But if not, you can take the bumper and it'll get you to the end just in case. But the other strat for this room involves hypering into the room, and then you want to wave dash off the Kevin, then wave dash off here, and then bounce off the bumper. And if executed correctly, it's about the same as the Kevin version, but it will be slower if you don't execute it right. Also, you can get cornered like that, which is a problem. So the two wave dashes are pretty precise. Because you'll notice I didn't get my dash back from the first one. And sometimes you'll accidentally do an ultra, which is...
Ok. Ok. Ah, esse é o outro que ele falou. Ah, mas assim dá pra fazer de boa.
It's actually a little slower than the weight bounce on the bumper. That's similar to the block as soon as possible. Hit the ground here, you'll get your dash back so you can break this block. And you can even just buffer that down dash, break the block as soon as possible. But you want to land on the left edge of this block right here, so that you can either dash forward or down right to break this block. And then sliding along the ground here will give you another dash, so you can then dash down right out of the room. So you want to do 2 forward or 2 down right dashes here, and then dash straight down to that next block. Like that. And if you're at the correct height, when you break this horizontal block that I just broke, sometimes you'll get your dash back. You usually won't, but sometimes you'll get your dash back. So you might want to press dash down one more time here, just in case you get your dash back. It's pretty much random. Like, this room is often called the RNG room because of how random getting your dash back here seems to be, but it's not too important that you do. Like, if you don't get your dash back, you just want to fast fall. And you want to land these 2 blocks. And I didn't get my dash back there because I wasn't far enough to the left. But I don't know if I can retry here. No, I can't. But essentially it looks like that. So if you dash forward from far enough left, you can do 2 forward dashes. And then you're going to land like right here or so, in which case you can just dash jump to land here. And I would recommend just walking into the next room. You can dash jump into the next room if you want, but you need to be careful because you need to land on the very top of this bumper. So you don't want to enter this room too quickly. Like, maybe dash jump at the most, but don't hyper into this room because you'll probably get yourself killed.
Entendi. Achei fácil.
So you can do forward dashes from these bumpers like this, but it's a little hard to land on the top of the bumpers from those. So you can bounce off the first bumper, dash forward, bounce off the second bumper, dash forward, fall, and then dash left into the third bumper.
Eu não consigo voltar desse aqui.
If you have trouble with this room, though, I recommend dashing up right to land on this bumper. And if this bumper ends up sending you to the left at all, you might need to dash up right into to get to the crystal. But from here, I can dash forward, and I actually went a little too far. If you get knocked right by this bumper, you might even be able to get through this gap without dashing at all. But I'd recommend trying to hit the very top so you can dash forward. And you can also dash down left to hit the right side of this bumper, but it's a little difficult. So you can dash down left to get to there a little quicker. But if you fast fall, you can still dash like straight left into it a little more consistently here, and then dash up right. And then you want to dash up right through this feather to get a little more height when the feather starts. And from here, you can either go straight up, weave your way through the bumpers, and then exit the top into the top route. You want to take the top route here, or you can go up right, weave in between the lower part of the bumpers, and do the same. I find starting up easier, so you can weave through here, but you can also weave through. You'll see the gap between sort of the bottom left and bottom middle bumper. You can go up right between that gap, and then exit through here. But I find going straight up a little easier. But you want to actually take this feather into the next room because feathers persist through screen transitions. And then you want to immediately start moving up and through the feathers so you can dash up right and skip this first crystal. And you might end up just hitting that first crystal by chance. It doesn't really matter. You just want to do, after grabbing the second crystal, you just want to do some left dashes. And on the second or third crystal, so this crystal right here, you can dash forward to the feather if you dash soon enough.
Bom, mas eu vou... Esse aqui vai ser o último. Esse aqui vai ser o último nível que eu vou fazer. Oh, merda. Nossa, às vezes eu tenho dificuldade de enxergar o que tá acontecendo, velho. Meu Deus. Eu tô prestando atenção em outra coisa. Eu não consigo enxergar direito. Ok, chega. Muita coisa pra aprender e... vários desses níveis são fáceis, tem uns que são muito difíceis. Tipo, tem aquele skip lá que é muito difícil.